gentlemen, my name is Dr. Jon Belkowitz. I'm the Director of R&D and Intelligent Concrete. We specialize in making concrete do the impossible. I have one of the most awesome people in the concrete industry with me today, Joe Shetterley from Specification Products in Indianapolis, Indiana. Joe?
John?
Great to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
Joe, do you mind giving our audience a quick intro on who you are?
My name is Joe Shetterley. I'm with Specification Products. I've been a concrete finisher for over 30 plus years, and glad to be here with John today.
It's been a fun day. It's been a freaking awesome day. And Joe agreed to do an interview. A little nervous. This is his first time on camera, so we're not going to ask him too many hard questions. Okay, first question. You ready, Joe?
Yes, sir.
What is the weight of the Earth?
1 billion trillion pounds.
Close. Off by 2. No. Okay, so seriously though, what drew you into the concrete industry and why did you stay?
I drew in because I was a third generation finisher. My grandfather was one, my father was one, and us sons kind of followed suit. I'd say about 2 years after I decided to stay in the concrete industry, I had been blessed enough to meet a gentleman at Wilhelm Construction that had lunch with me, and we had a lifelong talk then when I was about 20, and he convinced me to stay in the industry because one day we wouldn't have too many craftsmen left.
Amen. Amen. So did you stay because of finishing, or did you stay because you saw a larger need that you could fulfill in the industry?
I stayed because there's a larger need for the industry. We have somewhat lost our way. We have forgot the basics of concrete. As I refer to sometimes to engineers, we're no longer concrete finishers, we're more chemical finishers.
Wow, that's well done. That's well done. Wow. All right, so gosh, I'm stuck on that one. You know, it's funny you should say that, but really where we're going with water cementitious ratios, you know what I'm talking about, just dropping them down. There's no water left. You don't have that creamy and dreamy. So on most job sites, you see people putting, and don't get me wrong, there's some chemicals out there that I absolutely love, but it is primarily not concrete finishing. It's chemical finishing. That has to be the title of an article.
Yep.
That sounds like a Metallica song.
Yeah, we're almost like have to relearn finishing.
Oh! This is a topic for another conversation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next question. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I hope in the next 5 years I've made it around the country enough to bring back basic principles of finishing and to let people know that don't be scared of water. Water is our friend in concrete to a certain level. Too much is bad and not enough's too bad. I think we need to get back to finding the bell curve at the top of water.
I'm going to make a prediction. In the next 5 years, I think you're going to be either ACI National President or ACI National Vice President. Like when it comes down to it, our industry has taken a major swift change, or a major change. It's not like what it used to be 20, 30 years ago. The way we do our concrete placement or concrete finishing, and we still have folks who are trying to, but our technology and our needs have changed so much. And the problem is that we have, and I've said this many, many times before on this channel, we have a very large disconnect between the academic side of the universe, or the industry, or the new technology, maybe I should say it that way, new technology versus the practical side of the industry. Nice. And it's people like you that help the connection.
Yeah, well, I just hope to be able to bridge a gap in the communication.
Totally.
That's what I'm shooting for in the next 5 years.
Okay, those were the easy questions. Even the weight of the Earth was the easy question. Okay, the next ones are mine, and they're pretty tough. Okay, you ready? The first question is, what is the fastest animal, and how fast can it dive?
That's a 2-year-old child diving into a full of balls.
I will accept that answer. I will totally accept that answer. Okay, why colloidal silica?
Colloidal silica, to me, is a very finisher-friendly, has a lot of grace, and it will make an average finisher look like a above-average finisher at the same time. There's a lot of insurance in colloidal silica, has a lot of benefits. It's just like exercise. If we exercise, our blood pressure lowers, we lose weight, we sleep better. Using colloidal silica gives us a lot of great benefits at the same time.
God bless. God bless. Okay. When I first started talking to Joe, I was actually a little pissed off at him. Because he saw something, and y'all know how much I love colloidal silica. I've been working colloidal silica since I had a full mane of majestic, flowing hair. I was on that Maybelline commercial, the VO5 commercial at one point. It was it was down to here, my hair. So I've been working with colloidal silica for a while. Joe figured out something that was staring all of us right in our faces, and made a business out of it. Do you want to dive into it?
Yeah. When I would listen to certain individuals talk about losing our way in the industry, curing was always the one thing that we were losing. We traded water curing for schedule, and we compromised our integrity at the surface when we went that way. We started to go to curing compounds and sealers, which only put a Band-Aid over the symptoms but never cured any symptom. Old-fashioned wet cure always cured a lot of things. So when I discovered colloidal silica and we were going through trials and batches and pours and placing, I realized that we were actually controlling somewhat of the hydration. And by controlling hydration, we sat around a round table trying to figure out what we would name this product. Mm-hmm. And it come to me in a dream, actually. And the dream was spelled out kind of from a biblical story of Moses' point of view when the children of Israel were led out of Egypt. And just a nice dream about the product that I had in my possession was internally curing concrete from the beginning of life. And I got up the next morning, we had a meeting. I said it's going to be called E5, Internal Cure Admixture, and has not let us down yet.
Amen. Amen. And you know, the concept of internally curing, locking that water in, giving us our true hydration, a better hydration, it's what colloidal silica does, and we've seen it not only with strength or densification or permeability or capillary absorption. We've seen it with abrasion resistance. Yes. We've seen it with ASR, freeze-off durability. You go down the list of tests, and it always comes back to how are we creating a more robust, a stronger, something that just lasts longer.
Yes.
Gosh. Okay. Last question. A lot of people ask me this question, and it's a frustrating question to me. And I'll tell you why in a second. But the question is, what does Concrete 2030 look like? What is the innovative side of concrete? And I have two answers. I have a pessimistic answer, and I have a dreamer's answer. My dreamer's answer is, we got electrically conductive concrete, we got self-healing concrete, concrete that floats, concrete that glows in the dark, concrete that can be turned into a TV, concrete that you can eat. That's not true. But Rocky Road ice cream is kind of like concrete. Anyway, what the pessimistic side of me says, by the time we reach Concrete 2030, we're still going to be paying for Concrete 2015 and Concrete 2020, possibly Concrete 1985. So I see it as the pendulum can swing either way. What do you see as the potential and future for the concrete industry?
Well, my mind can run wild on the potential. I believe if we get out of our own way, our own agendas, and our own little boxes we live in, I believe concrete can catapult into a world that would kind of blow our minds. I could almost see with nanotechnology how it's coming in through the electronic devices, not only into the colloidal silica in our admixtures, but that colloidal silicas could actually read the technology within inside the concrete as it's hydrating. And just like I read an article the other day about colloidal silica being used as a liquid in a teaspoon, it could carry 1 terabyte of information. If it can do that and it could be into an admixture, it could read everything about that concrete. That's what could happen in the future if we get out of our own way.
And out of our own way, and Joe and Joel and I have had a lot of conversations about architects, engineers alike, the unfortunate reality is they don't learn a lot about concrete. It's rare that somebody gets my type of education where when I was in school, I used to break in to labs and office buildings so I can learn more about concrete at 9 o'clock at night. Seriously, Air Force Academy, there was a certain office that if I could unscrew the top of the door and pop it in and break in and get into the computers and start learning more, from ACI. I didn't have the passwords, they wouldn't pay for it. So I learned more. Rarely do you see that in the concrete industry, and the problem is the matured engineers as well as the new or the novice or the fresh, the new fish that are coming in to take their place, they don't have that concrete education like we would hope that they have to know how to use not only new technologies, but the technologies that we've had for decades. So I totally agree with you that if we really expect to create these concrete solar panels, or concrete that can or transfer electricity, or generate or harness electricity, we've got to get out of our own way.
Yep.
Absolutely. I could not have said that any better. Awesome. I do have one more.
Go ahead.
One concrete book. If you were stuck on an island and you can only bring one concrete book with you, or any book for that matter, what book would it be?
Any book?
Can't be a survival book because that's cheap.
Any book.
Any book.
Doesn't matter what the book is?
Well, if it's going to be, the Bible, I'm going to bring my Bible too. So besides the Bible, right, Old or New Testament, it's up to you. Whatever your God is, what other book would you bring?
I believe I would probably bring one of my son's book, Nietzsche.
Ooh, wow. That was pretty deep.
Yep.
That was pretty deep. Well, thank you. Thank you very much,
John,
sir.
thank
Appreciate those answers.
Haley, thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like it and subscribe. Ding that bell for notifications. Go concrete!
Go concrete! Beat asphalt!